boy starts school before majority of y'all. I start school early, so I apologize. And it's COVID-19. My state, where I live, been shut down for internet for a little while, and my general location. So y'all can imagine how little bored I was, and they kept on cutting on and off. But I apologize. I really do. I truly apologize. But I'ma come back with a classic. This is gonna be What If Deku Was a Bunny Rabbit, Part 3. And before I started this, I did watch the video of the other one. And I left off right before the USJ arc. So let's get into this, shall we? Oh, and I'm gonna say it in this video, and I might say it in the next video. I read the manga for My Hero Academia, but I will not be continuing. So if I continue on this, pray to God if I do. Pray to God. If I continue on What Ifs, I will not, and the anime does not come back on, and they'll keep going through the manga. I will not be using anything from the manga. I know that sounds, kind of pathetic to some of you, or some of you that makes sense, but I will not spoil the ones who have not watched, read the manga. So I'm not going to do that because I know majority did not read the manga, so they don't know what's going on. They just heard rumors, and they're getting tired of getting spoiled. So I'm not going to spoil anything. I will be staying anime only for majority for now, unless if you guys want me to continue from the manga. But until then, I will be doing just anime majority. So let's get into this part because your boy wasted like 2 minutes explaining this, explaining this, Y'all smell that? I smell it too. Boo! I'm joking. Alright. So I left off when Deku and female Kirishima split their ways. No, they're not breaking up. They didn't even get together yet. Hold up. Don't rush things. Shh. Pay attention. So we're gonna cut to the day of the USJ. Class 1A goes on a little field trip to, USJ training center to, learn how to, be rescues. And hold up. Okay. For God's sake, I may or may not. Give me a moment. Alright. Alright. Your boy might be a little hot, and I might just be mindless for saying. Um, I realized that I was about to skip over the whole entire, Class A training argument. So I'm gonna skip over this and that part. I'm just gonna say right now, the whole Bakugo versus Deku with Araka for the test, that goes the same thing, except the only difference is Bakugo gets by. That's all I'm gonna say. Bakugo gets knocked the fuck out. I'm just gonna say that right now. He gets knocked out. He gets knocked up and knocked out. That's all I'm gonna say. A couple quick kicks to the face, knocking out Bakugo. So I'm just gonna skip over that. Deku with Araka wins. I'm gonna go all the way straight USJ. Got a lot of explaining to do here. Church camp. You will have to pay attention. Shh. Um, they get to the USJ. Alright, so alright, everybody. So they get to the USJ. Alright. So as they get there, they get introduced to the girl, her teams. Tells them everything happens. Everything happens. Um, I'm sorry if I sound a little quiet because it is nighttime. So yeah, same thing happens. The aliens arrive and everything. The only difference is, alright, everything happens. Everybody gets split up. So this is where I start explaining stuff. So this is gonna be the groups. So instead of the original team being split up, so instead of Jiro, Momo, and Denki, this is gonna be Jiro, Denki, and Suyu, Froppy, and then this is gonna be Momo, Deku, and Neto. And this is how it's gonna go. more open. Instead of just closed, she's gonna be more open. So they're hatching up a plan, and they come up with the same plan like in the original timeline. The only difference is Momo will be creating a rope, and they're gonna be basically playing fish. So this is how I'm gonna do this. So there's one villain in particular. He's a giant shark. He has a quirk called shark, and he's a giant shark. You know, and he's swimming around a boat incredibly fast, so they can't really keep track of him. Instead, he does do just move incredibly fast. So they decide to play bait. So this is when Deku tells Momo to make a rope, and this is when Deku immediately ties the rope on to hit Mineta, and he jumps into the water. And as the shark villain gets closer, Deku yells out now, and Momo quickly makes a little, you know, makes a quick little cannon. She makes a cannon and she blasts it into the water. And as she does this, Deku, you know, increases his, makes the little energy barrier shield. And as the cannon fires off, hitting the energy barrier shield directly. And I'm basically getting inspiration off of Black Panther. It sends off a giant kinetic energy, making a giant whirlpool, like way bigger than a cannon. And sorry if I said one ball. Making a giant whirlpool, and instead of knocking them and having them fly into shore, this actually, this causes quite a tornado. It's a good enough tornado, sent slingshotting the shark villain and Deku and Mineta and Momo, because Momo's holding up the rope, and Mineta and Deku tied to the rope. They go flying when we get this little action scene of Deku and Mineta holding onto the shark villain's fin, and Momo's holding on for dear life to the rope. And this is when Deku would let go, the shark villain grabbing Mineta, jumping off, propelling himself off the shark villain to, you know, carry Momo. So right now, Deku's in midair holding Momo like a princess, and Mineta's on his back. And this is when we would get a sequence of, the shark villain landing over towards Shigaraki. Shigaraki would quickly dodge out the way, and then this is when Deku will land down, holding, Mineta on his back, holding Momo like a princess. And Momo would get a little flustered. I'm sorry if I'm speeding it up. Trying to get as much fighting in as possible because I realize I don't really do that in my what ifs, and people have told me that when I looked at my older comments, they were like, "Oh, you don't do really much fighting, do much fighting scenes." And I was like, "Alright, I'll add in a little bit more fighting scenes that don't really need to be necessary, but I'll add them on in for more character development." And no, I don't think fighting scenes build character development. You can get character development either way, but people have mentioned that I don't really give fighting. So I'll do that for now, and I'll give a little fighting. Um, so this is when a few villain, I say like a group, and majority, small group of villains, run over to where they are. And this is when Momo would create like a metal pole, get like metal poles and stuff and shields to, fight off some of the villains. And remember, these are lower ranking villains, and Deku handles them with ease. And then, Mineta's just throwing his little great balls around, just randomly screaming like a little punk. And I don't know if I kicked Mineta out. I don't remember if I kicked anybody out, per se, but if I did, forget that. I'll be retconning now because I'm going to keep everybody. If I didn't, that's good. Um, yeah. So, Deku in this, just taking them out easily, just doing quick jabs and kicks and roundhouse kicks. And this is when we see Shigaraki run over to Deku, and then Deku will catch Shigaraki, in the corner of his eye and automatically create an energy barrier shield. And Shigaraki would touch this and get, knocked back. And then Shigaraki would be like, scratching his neck. He'd be like, what the heck? How did this boy? How did he know I was behind him? Like, you know, And then this is when Deku would blitz, right in front of Shigaraki, kneeing him directly in the stomach. And Shigaraki would get knocked back from this. And then we would just see Deku start fighting, basically doing kick combos like Sanji from One Piece. And yes, that is very dangerous. And Shigaraki is taking damage. And Shigaraki is trying to touch Deku, but every time he touches Deku, he either touches the metal plates, like here, like how you can see here, for like his upper thigh and, lower. He's either touching those, or he's basically, just missing. So he's either touching the metal stuff, or he's just missing. And Deku's getting real good hits in on Shigaraki, and Shigaraki's trying to counter, but Shigaraki is, and then Deku noticing on how Shigaraki is like skinny build, but he's taking a whole lot of hits. Like normally these would take down a few of the lower class villains, but Shigaraki got some nice durability. Like Deku's really impressed with Shigaraki's durability. And then this is when we would have, out of nowhere, the Nomu would, appear out of nowhere, trying to backhand Deku, but Deku would Matrix dodge this. And then this is when Deku would go for a full-blown kick to the Nomu's face, but the Nomu will grab Deku's leg and throw him over towards Momo and Mineta. Momo and Mineta would see this, and then this is when Momo would try to create like a giant, create a bigger shield. So when the Nomu throws a punch, when a Nomu would throw a punch, Momo would use the giant version of the little shield that she has and try to block it, but she would get knocked back, and it would destroy the shield, damaging Momo a little bit, because remember, the shield is still connected to her skin, and, skin is fat, and the stuff is due to her body fat, so she would take a lot of damage to this, and plus, this is a Nomu that went toe-to-toe with All Might. Yeah, she's taking damage. Sorry for all those Momo's fans out there, she's not gonna die, she's just gonna take damage. This is when Mineta would see this and he, gets a little scared. So he would throw great balls at the, Nomu random, without knowing that he's doing it. He just does it to try to do something to protect Momo. And then this is when Deku would blitz right over, doing a double tap kick to the Nomu's back, causing shockwaves to go through the Nomu's body. This is when the Nomu would turn around and, throw hands at Deku, and Deku's either dodging or countering with his legs, you know. And then we just get a night, and then, we get that nice stand barrage. And then we get a little quick stand barrage of the Nomu throwing flurries of punches, while Deku's is doing a flurry of right leg kicks. So we get like a little barrage, a barrage stand, going. And then every time the Nomu punches Deku's leg, Deku can feel like his bones, like, feel like his bones are getting ready to break. And this is when Shigaraki would take advantage of Deku being blindsided and run over towards Momo and Mineta. And then this is when we would catch Mr. Aizawa, coming out of nowhere, being a, senpai teacher that he is, and, turn off, Shigaraki's decay quirk. And this is when the Nomu would take sight of this, and this is when Deku would be like, got you! It then try to kick the Nomu, but the Nomu will grab Deku's leg and literally doing a whole Hulk slam, slamming Deku right into Mr. Aizawa. And this is when Nomu would grab Deku's leg again and grab Mr. Aizawa's arm. And this is when the Nomu would break Deku's leg and Mr. Aizawa's arm, like how he broke Mr. Aizawa's arm. Well, not exactly like, but broke Mr. Aizawa's arm and Deku's leg. And then we get a glimpse of, Mr. Aizawa and Deku screaming in pain. And this is when the Nomu would slam Deku and Mr. Aizawa together, and then completely throwing them almost, to the middle center of, the whole USJ building. And this is, and then as the Nomu makes his way over towards them, Mineta, Kurt, and I know what you're going to ask. What about, Mineta and Momo? Mineta throws one more great ball at Shigaraki's hand, and Shigaraki catches it in his hand, but the sticky ball seems to be decaying. But as it's decaying, it's also getting stick to Shigaraki's hand, so you have a problem with it. And this is when we would catch Bakugo coming out of nowhere and does an explosion, catching Shigaraki. But, Kodagiri, the guy, the Black Mist, would, save Shigaraki. And then Bakugo be like, damn it, I hate these punk villains. And this is when female Kurashima would what's, gonna be like, where was that big old, beast looking guy? And this is when they would all hear a scream, and, this is when we would have, them run over to it, over to the scream part. And if you're wondering about, the Jiro and Denki and Froppy team up, that goes differently because Froppy is we know Froppy is a fighter, and, Jiro is able to use her, actually be able to be like the long. They devise a team of short range and long range. Denki being the short range, while Suyu and Jiro be long range. Jiro with her boots, and Froppy, using her tongue and mobility to catch some villains off guard, so Denki could take them out. So they got a nice team plan going on right there, which is not bad. And then this is when we would have, and then coming to aid them would be, the guy with the tail would be the guy with the tail quirk, and Tokiyami would be over there to aid them, so they would have backup. So they're good. Yeah, so Deku and, Mr. Aizawa seem to be looking like they're getting, bodied. Well, Mr. Aizawa majorly. Um, as Deku's like attacking, with a broken leg, Deku's, throwing punches, every time the Nomu, backhands Deku or gets Deku away and then goes over to Mr. Aizawa. Deku put an energy barrier over Mr. Aizawa. And then we get like a really, like, Deku's really struggling, like, he knew monster, villains were gonna be strong, but, like, this dude is, like, almost, like, All Might level, like, Jesus. Like, dude broke Deku's leg, and Deku's like, this is the first time in my life, like, this is the second person besides my mom that's actually, caught me slipping and made me break my leg. My leg got broken from me slipping up. This is like the second person besides my mom. And Deku is, fighting back. He's trying everything he's got, giving it his all. But, the Nomu is still kind of a problem for Deku. And Mr. Aizawa was trying to help out by Deku by, turning off the Nomu's quirks, but Mr. Aizawa can't do anything. Like, dude's got a broken arm, he's bleeding, his leg is broke. Like, Deku is struggling to do damage. He's not struggling to do damage. He's most likely struggling to keep the Nomu away from Mr. Aizawa, because Shigaraki did tell the Nomu to take out the teacher first. Kill the teacher first, then the student. So the Nomu's still on that goal, trying to kill Mr. Aizawa. So Deku's not struggling to get hits in. He's struggling to get the Nomu away from Mr. Aizawa. And we would see, kind of a bleeding Deku. He's trying everything he's got. It's not working. And then this is when Bakugo and female Kurashima, Momo, and passed out Mineta making their way over. And we would also have Todoroki making his way over, ice sliding his way over. And we would see, Bakugo, go at the Nomu, but every time Bakugo attacks Nomu, Bakugo's realizing like his explosions are doing absolutely absolutely nothing to the Nomu. So the Nomu quickly grabbed Bakugo's arm, and he basically does what Topo did to Goku, snapping his arm back. Well, not snapping his arm like breaking it. He just, grabs his arm, brings it back to, pop his bone out of place. So Bakugo has pain from that, and Bakugo, being the being the prideful tyrant that he is, tries to still fight, with a popped arm, with a popped shoulder. But Bakugo ain't doing nothing. And then we have female Kurashima, trying to do something, but all she can do is really just turn her hands into like blades and cut the dude, but anything else is not really doing anything. And we would get a sequence of the Nomu, and then this is when female, you know, Kurashima would cut the Nomu's eye, and this is when the Nomu would go into a blind range. Well, a one-eye blind range. So Nomu, loses his eye due to female Kurashima. Then this is when the Nomu would. I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry. Please don't subscribe. Start wailing on female Kurashima. I swear to God, bro. Y'all would have been crying if this was animated. Y'all would have been crying. Oh my God! Please don't subscribe. I know. Y'all be like, Mr. What If? How you gonna just come back from out of nowhere like somebody's black dad and just do this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Female Kurashima gets body bad. Oh, God damn. I'm sorry. Um, and then this is when Deku and Bakugo just watching in horror. They're like, oh my God. Um, and then this is when Deku, my boy Deku, our boy Deku, this is where our boy Deku pulls a whole Kaneki. If y'all remember that scene from where Jason twisted Kaneki's leg and Kaneki did that, smooth maneuver using his twisted leg as an advantage to kick the dude back, and then he twisted his leg back in place. Our boy Deku was like, "How dare you hurt an innocent girl like that? I'm going to physically and mentally kick your ass." This is when Deku gets up. He's bleeding from his mouth, his nose. He got cuts on his cheek. You know, his hero suit, his, fresh styled hero suit all damaged up a little. My boy grabs his leg, snaps that back. Even though his leg is broken, he snaps it. So, he snaps it into position. He doesn't snap it back in place. He snaps it into position. So when he moves, you would hear his bones go skirt, skirt, skirt. Go like a skirt sound. Like his bones like squeaking against each other. Like, then this boy get up. My boy get up. My boy is like, I will not let you get away with this, you abomination. And this is where our boy Deku, his eyes go from green straight to black. This boy's eyes go from green straight to black. And this boy's hair starts to go from the light green we see it start to turn into black. His bunny ears get longer. His cotton tail gets less cotton, gets less cottonly and gets a little bit longer. His legs get longer and increasing. His legs get longer. You his foot, his feet get bigger, his legs get longer, his thighs get more bulky. My boy, my boy starts grinding his teeth like it sounds like you scraping a fork on a metal plate. Oh, my boy is in a malicious state right now. And Deku, he looks at Mr. Aizawa. He looks at Mr. Aizawa beaten and bruised. He looks at female Kirishima beaten. He looks at Bakugo with a damaged arms. He looks at like a slightly bruised up Momo and a full bloodied up head Mineta. My boy Deku Blitz moving at lightning speed. And this might sound like an exaggeration. My boy is moving at lightning speed. Delivers the meanest roundhouse. Nah, not even roundhouse. My boy jumps into the air. You don't even jump into the air. This boy runs it for no more. He gives the most demonic, devilish look to this man. He brings his one bad leg up. Literally pulling a whole Johnny Cage, making his kneecap meet his face. My boy is in front of the Nomu. Blank point range in front of the Nomu. And delivers the meanest axe kick to this Nomu's head. This Nomu feels this whole Nomu's shock absorption gets knocked the fuck out. This whole man's shock absorption quirk gets knocked the fuck out. And this Nomu goes flying halfway. So they sitting in the middle of the USJ, right? So from the middle all the way to one of the ends, this Nomu gets knocked the fuck back. And then Deku looks at his leg, it's so damaged now, like it's badly damaged. Badly damaged to the point where the bone is sticking out of the skin. You can see his bone clear as day. My boy Deku starts limping over. Limps over to that Nomu. That Nomu gets up, try to shake it off, but that Nomu know he felt pain, but it wasn't from no All Might. Shigaraki's watching. Kurigiri's watching. This Nomu gets up, runs over to Deku. Deku takes his one busted leg, bone you can see clear as day, and roundhouse kick this Nomu back again. This Nomu gets stunned. Like stunned. Like this boy starts stumbling. Like my boy looked like Jiren. I swear to God. Y'all remember when Goku hit Jiren so hard that Jiren, Goku hit Jiren. Jiren got stunned back like crazy. We saw Jiren stumbling back like crazy. That's what this boy like. And then my boy Deku brings back his bad busted up leg. He uses his busted leg to propel himself. And then we see a full-on Deku deliver a whole blow, a whole straight kick jab to this man's face, out of this Nomu's face. And this kick looks just like the same punch Master Ultra Instinct did to Jiren, making this man lose all his taste buds. I swear to God, Deku kicked this man that fucking hard. And then this is when Deku, a little bit of blood starts coming out of Deku's bad leg, Deku coughs out a little bit of blood. My boy Deku, ready to kick this man's ass. And then this is when the Nomu, runs over to Deku. Deku goes for another kick, but this Nomu grabs Deku's leg in mid-kick. And then does a whole spin, slamming Deku to the ground, creating a giant-ass crater. And then this is when we get then the Nomu gets on top of Deku, starts barraging, punching, blows, just punching Deku repeatedly over and over again. Just wailing on Deku. Deku tanking all of this. He got energy barrier in front of him like a little shield. Deku got both of his arms up like he's boxing, and an energy barrier My boy, there's no more punching that energy barrier, making it crack. Deku's like, come on. This energy barrier ain't gonna hold on. Come on. And this is when All Might, just like in canon, busts down that door. And then he sees everything that's going on. He takes down the remaining of all the low-class villains. Almost, putting all of them into a coma-like state. And then All Might looks over at a beat-up Deku, beat-up female Kirishima, almost close to near-death Mr. Aizawa. My boy All Might gets pissed. And All Might puts the power of one for all into his one fist. He runs up to this Nomu. This Nomu sees All Might, runs at All Might. They have the kind of the same fight like they did in canon when they having a whole standstill of punching each other back like a whole stand barrage fighting scene. But this barrage fighting scene is more deadlier because the Nomu hitting All Might weak spot. All Might going full blows, holding nothing back, no patty cake blows, knocking everything around him. And then my boy All Might powers up one more punch and punches this Nomu, giving this Nomu the meanest uppercut that we will ever seen in My Hero Academia history. Give this man the meanest uppercut and send this man flying. He basically, y'all remember what Saitama did to the Deep Sea King? You know how he punched this dude and this dude looked over the range because he lost his heart and stuff? All Might does the same thing to the Nomu. One shot in Nomu's head right clean off. It's having the leftover, the body, go flying. So instead of the whole Nomu going flying into outer orbit, only the body and the head missing clean off. Like somebody got shot by a 22 Magnum, head clean, blown right off. All Might was not playing. And then the ambulance come. All the remainder of the heroes come. Gets the villains. Everything's said and done. All Might, All Might ain't wasted ain't wasted much of his time. He still got a little bit of time left, so he makes his leave. Injured. Mr. Aizawa, female Kirishima gets in the ambulance. Deku's being carried. This is when we was, Deku get an ambulance, and then this is when we would transition over to the hospital. And in the hospital, we would see, Deku laying on the bed. Deku opens his eyes, realizes that he's in the hospital, and he remembers. And I say, Mr. Our boy Principal Nezu tells him what happened. Mr. Aizawa was gonna be fine, but he badly bruised, beaten. His other classmate, Kirishima, she is also in the hospital. And then Deku gets right up out of that bed and makes his way over. Nezu was planning on stopping Deku, but he's like, nah. Principal Nezu just hands Deku the crunches. Deku makes his way over, and then he sees everybody, everybody, majority of Class 1A sitting with, Kirishima, and she's up and awake talking to them. And then this is when we would just see basically a female Kirishima ex Deku moment, and Deku would just go over to Kirishima and give her a hug and be like, he's glad that she's okay. And then this is when everybody is, remembering how Deku looked at when he got mad. And female Kirishima is, they're, Class 1A is talking amongst themselves, like, what happened, like, how Deku got so mad and all that. And this is when female Kirishima would tell them to shh, click that like and subscribe button. He might just wake up. And then they like, huh? And then she was like, nothing, just something that, something, just something, nothing really. And this is when she would, point to Deku, and then she would be like, shh. And then we just have, a sleeping Deku, you know, mm, you know, just a knocked out Deku hugging Kirishima, passed out on her. And then this is when, Kirishima would help Deku onto the bed. And then, we would get a little female Kirishima ex Deku moment, They're holding each other on a hospital bed, injured. And I guess I'm gonna leave this off on a romantic note. I am sorry I've been gone. I'll be posting a video tomorrow. Well, today is tomorrow when I, get the time in this daytime. And I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I try to make this more action as you guys, want it to be. Because, I've been told plenty of times in my older videos I don't do action. And I should. I just been doing romance. So I should do a little action. So I hope this was enough action for you guys. Once again, I'm sorry I've been gone. I will be uploading more because now I do have time. Internet is working fully again. Um, until the next video, this is your boy, Mr. What If. Peace out, fams. Love you all. Good night.